One of the hardest things a teacher may ever have to do is confront a student over cheating. Everyone walks away wounded. Trust is broken, relationships are damaged, sometimes in ways that are hard to repair. Hi everyone, I'm Bob G, the history doctor, and I was a school teacher for a long time. Here are some practical tips for addressing academic dishonesty in your classroom in ways that maintain the integrity of your programs simultaneous to being good to your students so that they come away better and stronger people. We can stop the practice of cheating before it becomes more ingrained in the lives of the students and in our culture at large. Tip number one, don't accuse. The language that you use matters. Remember that how we say something is a lot more important sometimes than what we say. So be sure to use language that's clinical. Something like, I have some concerns about the authenticity of some writing that you turned in. Won't you please meet with me during lunch period? I'd like to have a conversation with you. If you commence by accusing, the student will become defensive, they'll dig in, you'll get this tug of war, and it really just goes downhill from there. So please be diplomatic. Remember that your mission isn't law enforcement. It's to get kids to think for themselves. And during your conversation, if the youngster fesses up to having done something dishonest, try to get to the bottom of why. There may have been a death in the family. There may be some type of pressure that you don't know about. So get to the bottom with the facts. Speak gently, listen, and get all the facts before going to the next step. Second, I think it's necessary for schools to create tiers of seriousness for academic dishonesty. A youngster copying math problems in the lunchroom is a very different thing from, say, an upperclassman buying a research paper from a pay service off the internet. Next tip, encourage the school, your school, to subscribe to a plagiarism website, something like turnitin.com, one of these search engines. Their databases are growing, and when your students submit an assignment to Turnitin, the prose is compared to all the other papers that have ever been turned in. Next tip, trust your instincts. If a student writing sounds like it was written by a 54-year-old lawyer, it was probably written by a 54-year-old lawyer. If you suspect that a youngster has received massive assistance, communicate with the home gently and honestly. Frequently, youngsters have private tutors. Parents who are writing the checks want to see those grades go up, and they want to see it quickly. The tutors have their backs to the wall, so communicate with them and say, please don't do too much for this youngster. There are parents who are grade mercenaries who will simply pay a tutor to write a paper for their youngster. We don't want that, we don't like that, but that is a hard thing to confront if a grown adult in the kid's life is really allowing this. So just remember that there may have to be some form of karmic justice on that one. Emphasize that the student wins the grade right now, but in the end, that student will lose. Avoid public confrontations with students. You don't ever want to rip up a kid's paper in front of the whole room. That goes downhill. If you see them craning their neck in your room to copy answers from a friend, unless there's a video camera, you really can't prove it. The youngster will deny it. The parent may say you're picking on their kid, that you tolerate it from other youngsters. So if I see a youngster craning her neck in my room, I'll just walk past her desk during the test, rap my knuckles on her desk, and say, eyes on your own paper, please. You confronted it, you held the kid to honesty, but you did not get into one of those gray areas where nothing can be proven. Consider also, for teachers, creating different versions of tests. A couple of different essay prompts for the same unit really are possible. If you really do need to turn up the heat on a student that you suspect plagiarized, you may consider pulling the kid in after school, handing him or her a blank piece of paper and a pen, and say, summarize the main points of your paper. If the youngster has no clue, has no ability to present anything, the chances are the youngster has violated academic honesty rules and does need to be sanctioned. We don't want to hang anyone out to dry, but students do have to know that the rules will bite. If a kid gets zapped by the rules at the beginning of the year, that news will ripple through the student body and act as an effective deterrent. Always remember, it's better to have a youngster turn in something that's weak and spotty and needs improvement, but it's genuinely hers, rather than turn in something that's flawless and created by someone else. So give a try to some of my ideas. I think they can help in a moment that's difficult for everyone. Let's not punish, let's turn it into that teachable moment.